Right, the next part in our little break episode is try and find out what the hell was in this cylinder, because it said .5, so that's the brake fluid that came out. There's some water. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. Well, it seems to have turned into an emulsion. Can you see that? No, you can't. Yeah, it's turned into an emulsion. So if it was .5, it should have stuck in globules. That's a straightforward emulsion. And it does smell peculiar. It's not as conclusive as I was hoping for, to be honest, as it's a peculiar emulsion. Let me see if I can do a comparison test. Bring it back in a second. Right, put some clean .4 in there. We'll just try again. Do a comparison. It just feels strangely greasy. Again, it's formed an emulsion. So I'd have to assume it had ordinary brake fluid in. And disregard the label that said .5 because it seems to be emulsifying. Not that it matters ultimately, because I will be replacing every single seal and the rear brake line. So if I blow out the metal brake line as well, there's no reason why I couldn't use .5 if I so wished. So, curiosity really. Right, I expected the rear master cylinder to be the same as the front, because I think the repair kits that I've seen listed are the same. However, straight away we have an obvious difference. The front was held by a proper circlip, and the rear is held by this spring clip into a groove around here. So how easy that's going to be to get out, I don't know. It's not a method of securing a piston that I'm used to, but we shall give it a go. There we go. It's actually, let me just get some pliers. It's actually a lot easier than I was expecting. So we'll just move that out, because this won't be getting reused, obviously. Right. So, appears to be some sort of washer there. Oh, in fact, it is a washer. So there we are, it is a washer. Clean out more of this old crud. It definitely needs a rebuild. I'm not wasting my time taking this apart, that's for sure. Look at the state of it. It's amazing it's working. Right, I think I'm going to have to blow that out. I'll turn you off and bring it back with the popped out. Right, I didn't have to blow it in the end. I just used a screwdriver that fitted quite nicely into the piston. pumped it in and out until eventually it popped out. Again, it's absolutely filthy. Really, really revolting. And also of a different design. Look at the state of that. I do wonder if brake fluid has been mixed in this, because that is unusual. Anyway, it's a different design piston to the front. Now the parts book says it should be the same, so this must be a later cylinder. Now inside there should be, there we go, a cup. Can you still see on that? Only just a rubber cup. And then again further in there should be a spring. There we go. Let me just twist it around slightly. So let's do a quick comparison with the front, because I kept it all. There's the piston for the front. I just dropped it down a bit there, so let's just start that off again. There's the piston for the front. It is noticeably shorter. Noticeably shorter. Different design. Seems to be the same bore. So I shall have to look and see what fitting that actually is. Things like the cup seem to be the same. Spring's different. So yeah, I shall have to investigate and find out what these differences are. In the meantime, all the parts will be kept together, and we'll now give it a wash out. Underneath the cruddy black paint was actually quite a shiny chrome master cylinder. So I'll leave it in chrome when it goes back. And the bore, which you can't really see, is absolutely perfect. Unmarked, unscored, no rust. So an ideal candidate for rebuilding, which is what's going to happen. Okay, some parts have started to arrive. And first up, and most important, are our bushes for our rear banana caliper support bracket and a master cylinder repair kit. Now the last master cylinder repair kit I bought was unnamed. It just came in a plain plastic container. I got this one from Hog Parts. It was a few pence more than the other one, but it's actually a Drag Specialities made in Japan. So there's no doubting that it's good quality. So let's have a look and see what we get in our little kit. Let me just cut the top off that more. That's the plastic that's stopping it come out. Now that looks fairly comprehensive, doesn't it? So we have our piston and seal, the washer that took me by surprise when I stripped it, our cup washer, a spring, and even a boot for the end of the master cylinder. Now then, not sure what that bit is. I would imagine that fits over there. Right, let me just get the old parts and we should do a quick comparison. Okay, everything looks good. The new piston is a slightly different length, but not a lot in it, to be honest, very little. The cup's right, the spring's right, the spring length is right. The top of the spring where it meets the piston is slightly different. I'm not entirely sure why, but anyway I should be using a new one. The washer's right, everything's right, apart from that. And I don't know what that is. Clearly it can't go on this side, on that side, so it must fit on there. Maybe there's an additional seal behind there. I don't know. That is the only logical place for it. Now that doesn't look right either. Let me just check this one. Spring. Don't suppose it matters. Right, okay, so we know from taking it apart that our spring went in first, like so, and in that cap, which doesn't, there we go, does it want to sit square? No, it doesn't. Well, there's a problem straight away. That doesn't want to sit in there properly. Has to sit there. Let me just turn you up a second. Right, I'll just use a little bit of brake grease to hold that in place while it goes in, because it didn't. Oh, I say I have, and then lo and behold, it doesn't want to stay. Okay, there it is. So after that comes our rubber seal, cup seal, which I'll just give a very light smear of grease to encourage it on its way. Like so. Very good. And then, still with greasy fingers, I will fit our main seal and give it a little very light smear to help it on its way. Now then, that just leaves that. Does that go on there? It wasn't fitted to my original one. I'm assuming it does, so it's going in there. Yeah, it's got to be that way around. And then our piston. Good, that all fits. Right, so then our washer goes with our piston. Now, I'm in the same position as last time, that I have to somehow force this in and get the clip in whilst trying to film it. I'll give it a go, but I'm not convinced this is going to be very successful because it is quite a three-handed job, but I shall give it a go and see what happens. So washer under there, that goes in there like that. Washer sits down behind it if I can get it in. Like so, yeah. Can you still see that? Not very well. So that's in the piston, the washer's in there. The washer should sit down enough to get access to the groove, which it does. That needs to be fed in there. Which is where the three-handedness starts to become a problem. Right. Let's try getting that in there first. Right, I'm going to have to turn you off and put this in the vise or something. I can't do all two bits and film at the same time because I've got to wiggle it about. Hold on. Right, it's in. I just had to hold it in the vise while I pushed it down. You can get one edge and the bottom corner there into the groove, and then you've got to just push this one over and down. I used a pick like this, so there's just enough room to get into it, and then lever it over and drop it into place. So there it is, it's in, which is the important thing. You can hear it working. So that's good. And then we have our little boot to go on. Well, I'm not sure that little boot will want to go on. This hole seems... That will go on there theoretically. Anyway, again I'm going to hold it in the vise to get it on. Back again. Right, so there's our little boot on, as I said, ready. I will in fact take it off again and put some rubber grease on the end of the piston where the rod touches. But I'm just showing you that it does fit. So there we go. That's ready to go back on. And then the other important thing in the box relates to our back brakes also. And in the previous video I was humming and hawing as to what was the best thing to do about the rear caliper, and I priced up all the relevant bits and the cost for all the bits I would need plus pads came I think to about 60 quid, but I would still have had damage to the caliper. Now Hog Parts had these at a reduced price. Lovely brand new caliper, £130. So given the damage to mine, I think it really would have been foolish of me not to take advantage of that. I've no idea where these are made. I don't think it says on the box, so let me have a look. China. Okay. It may not be great quality, I don't know, but It looks good. Everything appears to be well machined. It's damn sight better than what I've got in a minute, that's for sure. And it comes with a larger bleed nipple, which is also a major plus point. Unfortunately, you've got to strip them to fit them. But anyway, that would be the case with any of them, I'm sure. And it also came with the spring-type stabiliser. I've already got the aftermarket one on the bottom. I'll probably fit this as well. And there's absolutely no chance of my banana caliper floating about anywhere. So we shall move on to fitting that in a minute. But there you go. It's safer. It's cosmetically much better. And it isn't really that much more money. So that's why I did it. Right, the boomerang support plate's just been given a blast with aerosol etch and then some black paint. And then the next job, when it's dry, will be to fit our two bushes. Now, I did give them an exploratory push before and a tight, which is good. It shows that the wear I found was limited to the bush and not into the plate. So with new bushes in there, that will be absolutely fine, I'm sure. The brake stay is currently just an etch, but that will get blacked as well. And then we'll move on to the back wheel to fit everything.